What's going on, y'all? Happy Thursday. You already know it's gonna be a great night. We got the homie Coco coming through tonight. Looking forward to this. Definitely looking forward to get an update on her progress and even the new things that she's doing. Make sure y'all lock in August 25th. We got the back to school drive and the community cleanup with O'Hara Developments. Coco,
What's going on?
what's up, Queen? How you?
I'm good. How you?
I can't. Well, I ain't gonna say I can't complain, but I'm doing what I gotta do.
Look, ain't we all?
For sure. What you in the city of Philadelphia? You hanging out with us for a little bit?
I mean, maybe just for a couple hours.
Oh, hey, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Can't be here too long. Ain't nothing here but business.
Look, I understand. Catch flight, check your email. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it. I'm
Check
going.
the direct deposits.
Check the stock. You know what's up. That's
Now,
it.
but I definitely appreciate you for joining us tonight. Always good. I had to do a second one to come back.
You already
So
know.
make sure I could check them updates, man, because I see you moving, see you doing your thing. So make sure y'all share this, because I'm telling y'all, when Coco talks, it's going to be something good for you. So definitely, you want to share this with your friends. Don't be selfish. Share it with your family. It's going to be a good night. Before you had jumped in, Coco, I was letting people know August 25th, we got the back to school drive with O'Hara Developments. With actually my Philadelphia, Baltimore family that we're going to be doing in North Philly on North 16th Street, 3300 block of North 16th. So it's the back to school drive and the community cleanup August 25th from 8 to 2 p.m. Yes, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. People could come out, at least bring your kids, bring your family, come get a book bag. The Philadelphia School District is also partnering with us, so it's going to be, a good time.
That's what's up. So I am partnering with Pristine Healthcare Agency
Okay.
on a back to school drive, and I want to say it's the 21st. Yep. So it's the 21st. So anybody who's interested in donating or what have you, you can donate from now all the way up until, let's say, like the 19th. So it's a Saturday. I'm about to check the date for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's
No, that's Saturday.
Yep, it's the 21st.
All right. So when we get off here, make sure you send me a DM so I can post it.
Yep.
And if not, get with Coco, y'all.
Same.
I could get that information. But like I said, glad to have you. For those who don't know, Coco is a young lady who has been killing the game with stocks, real estate, you name it. And you still did you quit the 9 to 5 or you still got it?
It's over.
Look, she fired herself from her job. In that work. But Coco was a school teacher here in Philadelphia. Yep. So he has an amazing story. I'm gonna let Coco tell it a little more, and then we're gonna.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm from here, from Philly, born and raised, 32nd and Diamond to be exact. I went to Strawberry Mansion High School. From there, went and got my undergraduate degree at Clark Atlanta. Joined the best sorority ever, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'm Spring 14 Sigma chapter. Then I came back to Philly, started teaching. My original plan was to go to law school. Then I was like, no, maybe I'm just not ready for law school. So I joined Teach for America, and I was like, well, maybe I can meet the kids in a classroom before I meet them in the courtroom. And so that was my whole angle and goal. And literally it just, went up from there. So I came home 2015, got my master's at Drexel 2017, and that's when I started investing. I bought my first property here in Philly, actually the house that I'm in. 2017, because when I came home in 2015, I was like, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? Gentrification is real. I honestly, I didn't even know what that was. Like, and I couldn't believe, what was going on and what I was seeing, given the fact that I came from 32nd and Diamond. So, my kids on here, I love them. So that opened my eyes to something like greater. And I'm like, all these people on social media, Instagram was popping, all these contractors coming up out of nowhere, and people are just buying property. And I'm like, damn, like I got a little bit of money, let me figure it out. And so one thing I always tell people is that, like, I'll get into that part, but fast forward. So bought this house 2017. 2019, I was at this new job, and I was a recruiter, and I was sitting there. I was on a computer all day long, hiring, doing all types of everything. So I'm just like, there's got to be a way. Like, has to be something else than this. I was on Twitter. So one of the boys that I went to college with, he's from Baltimore, and he was like, yeah, talking about buying property down there. So I was like, oh, all right, cool. Like, that's like Philly little cousin. So why not?
Right.
So I had contacted him, and then he was like, yeah, check out the auction. And I was like, all right, cool. He and I had actually set up a date to go to Baltimore, but I was already, doing my own thing. So I'm looking, boom, 2019, bought my first property for $4,500 on the auction in Baltimore. And then, like, nobody was really talking about Baltimore in 2019. I felt like I was the only person that I know,
Down there, right.
yeah, who was down there just like figuring it out. And I literally, learned. I'm a person who learned by doing, and I'm not afraid to take risks. Which, if you know me, if you've been following me, you can clearly see that I'm not afraid of risks. And so from there, I got addicted. And when I say I got addicted, I literally got addicted to buying houses. I was on an auction like every other day, like, oh my God, trying to figure this out, trying to figure that out. And then I feel like every time I went on the site, I was bitten. And then I started teaching other people how to do it. And in less than 30 days, I got over, included my portfolio in addition to other people's, over 40 properties. And so, yeah, and it was when I tell you, running that auction up, but that's when they had the $5,000 houses. So if any of the people on here who got property with me in Baltimore, you didn't pay no more than $10,000. You didn't. Point blank period. You did not.
Just that quick, the numbers then shot up.
Just that quick. There's no real and I'm not going to say you can't get $5,000 houses in Baltimore, because you definitely can. However, you're not going to see that on the auction. The bid is starting at $5,000. That house not going to sell for $5,000. Like, you got to be down there like, yo, this your grandma's house, this your whoever, blah, 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 blah. Because after I bought that property, my phone started ringing. Then, what was that? During the pandemic, 2020, April 16th, actually, I'm sitting in my house and I'm like, all right, there's these two houses that I wanted to buy. I reached out to this realtor. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to put in an offer. He was like, oh, they already under contract. So I'm like, damn. I told myself, like, look, I'm done with the auction. I done bought all these houses. Like, I just need to, let me just chill. I'll go on the auction, scrolling. And that's when I bought the block. It was listed for $15,000. I got it for, so when it was listed, I was like, what, $15,000? Nobody's bidding on this?
Wait, when you say you bought the block, you slid the block part in. You bought the block.
I bought a block in Baltimore, right? So it is 33,913 square feet of land, right? And so I have to literally, like, I have to name a street, like it's a street in between it, all of that. I own both sides. And it's a process, right? And so that happened in April 16th. And I was just like, wait, for $15,000, I placed my bid. First, I was nervous. Like, it's crazy because I'm always nervous when I'm about to buy a house. I don't know why. I'm just always nervous. So I'm like, all right, let me do it. So I call them. I'm like, is this right? They like, yeah. I'm like, all right, was there a reserve? So for those of you who don't know, a reserve means that the property is listed for one price, but they really want more than the listed price. So that's when you have the opportunity to negotiate. Because I mean, if it's listed for 15, in my mind, the seller is probably desperate. Like, in my mind, like, you know what you're sitting on? Maybe not. I don't know. So I call. They say, yeah, it's a reserve, but I can't tell you what that reserve is. So they couldn't tell me the number until after the auction was over. Nobody bid it against me. So once the auction was over, they called my phone. They said, hey, you almost won. So I was like, okay, cool. So what's the next steps? He was like, oh, well, the seller's looking for 25. So I was like, oh, 17. And then they were like, well, I'm going to call him back and see what he says. They call him back. They called me back. It was like, oh, well, he said 22. I said 20. And it was like, okay, cool. So literally that happened April. What did I do? I closed on that in May. And in June, I got a phone call like, hey, I'm offering you at minimum 5 million. You can get at minimum. Like, you can't take out no more than $5 million to do whatever it is that I want to do. And it was like, this is for, I said specifically for like, you know, the land or whatever. It was like, no, for your business. So, I mean, I'm not sure if any of you have been paying attention to some of my posts, but in April, this past April, I was supposed to go to Ghana, and my whole plan to go to Ghana was to buy land. And so they like, wherever you want to do, wherever you want to go. And I was just like, oh damn. So to be 26 and offer, you know, at minimum 5 million to literally turn it up and do whatever it is that I want to do, it says a lot and it means a lot. And I was the same 26-year-old who turned it down.
Wait, you turned it down?
I turned it down. I turned it down. And so some people are like, what? Like when people hear literally like you, like, wait, you turned it down? You did what? Like, you know what I could do with 5 million? And so you got to make sure that everything is right. Right? So somebody can come at you all day long and say, yeah, I got 25 million. I got this, that, and the third. Da, da, da. I came from absolutely nothing. So money I never had will never miss me.
Right.
That's how I got where I am now. Like, I literally, when people like, damn, Coco, well, how you do all this on a teacher salary? You sure it ain't nobody this, that, and the third? Like, no. Well, when I first graduated college, I was making, and I made a post about this. When I first graduated college, I was making $46,000 a year. I've never made $46,000 a year in my life. And I felt like I was still able to live the life that I wanted to live when I graduated. So making $46,000 a year, I was able to save $1,300 a month.
Right.
I was just putting that money up. And so for me, it was just like, oh, wow. Like at that point, I was just like, damn, like, all right, this is something that I'm interested in. I start making some phone calls to some mentors like, hey, what you think about this? Like, listen to this. All right, cool. And everything sounded really, really good, like really, really sweet. Until the one person who called me, who didn't even have the capital, wanted equity. Like the lender, the people with the money didn't even want equity. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, no, I got all of this on my own, right?
Right.
You will not be the only person who offered me millions, and have not been the only person, you know, who offered me that and gave me the opportunity to explore. Right. Actually. And so for me, I'm just like super duper humble. And it's all about being patient, right? Like the top things, it'll come. Land is forever. I mean, so is property, but you literally like I have options, right? Like I'm not the person who's super duper quick and excited to hop on whatever. I made the Baltimore wave, you know? Now I'm out Detroit with it, you know? And so even with, I'm a forever learner, and I always tell people that too. So after that, clearly that was during the pandemic. Everybody's getting all types of money, all this money, SBA, PUA, PPP, all types of everything. I am livid. When I tell you, I'm like, I would be the person that go to jail. This is insane. How all these people, y'all got 175,000? Like what? Everybody,
that's when all the investors come out the woodwork calling me, talking about, yo, I got 100K, I got 50K.
Yes, literally.
And then they all want to do real estate, all of them.
Right. So, I mean, because, you know, and I hate to even say this, but for some, it's a wave right now. Like, you know, it's really a wave. And it seems cool. It seems cool to post it on Instagram and all that, but they don't really know the ins and out of it. And this is not to discourage anybody, but at the end of the day, like every single day, I'm not like, oh my God, super duper happy. I got things to do. It's time to work. Like, where this money about to come from? Where do you, you know, like you legit need a plan. Right. And so that's when I taught myself the stock market. I was like, no, ain't no way. I'm home teaching. I'm on this computer all day long. And then I taught myself options, and I made 90,000 in 6 months. And I was like, whoa.
From your laptop.
From my laptop. I was like, I'm going to show them. They ain't going to be the only people out here getting money. So I literally was sitting there like, wait, did this really happen? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, my job would have never paid me $10,000 in a day. would have never even paid me $1,000 in a day. And once I started seeing those gains, like I was like, all right, I'm making $1,000 a day. Then things just start hitting the lid, and I was like, damn, that was 10,000 a day. Then that was 15,000 yesterday. Like it was crazy. But I always tell people too that in any type of investing involves risk, right? So in real estate, there's risk. In the stock market, is there's risk. Had I not lost in the stock market at all, I probably would have had a straight, I don't know, 130. But I definitely, the most I've lost in a day was $8,000. And to somebody who never seen that type of money, that's a lot of money. To me, I just killed y'all, and I only invested. I started with $69, and I only invested a total of $7,000 of my own money, money. So all of the rest was gains. So I was just sitting there like, yeah, like I ain't mad at all. That little 8 is cool. And that was when the riot happened at the Capitol. Is actually when I lost the 8. And then the next day I gained it right back plus 4,000. So it was like 12,000 I got the next day, just off of that. And so like, teaching, I'm a teacher. So also created a course for that, created a course for all of my real estate things, like legit everything. And at this moment, when I realized that I wasn't missing my paycheck, and that happened for real, like 2, maybe a year and a half ago, even before I started investing into the stock market. My biggest fear is being poor, right? That's my biggest fear. And so when some people, like my mom is like a hoarder, right? So she buys all types of everything and just keep it. And I'm like, yo, like, what are you doing with, she will never, if she couldn't go outside because for 2 years or whatever, she would literally be fine with all her household items. Yeah, because she has it. So I just hoard my money. Like I'm the person that chicken costs $4.16. I'm looking for $4.13. That's me. Like I need a return.
Real quick, right? So just to rewind. So one, you have your courses for the stocks, the options, and the real estate investing. Y'all can hit in Coco's bio. But what you just said a couple minutes ago, I'm trying to word it right, rewind it back in my head about
not missing.
No, not that part. About you're scared of being broke. The fear of being broke is greater than your fear of what if I fail.
Exactly.
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So I don't believe in failure, right? Like anything that, I feel like there are certain obstacles or detours to the right direction. And so at any point you should be learning, right? So if when I did my first, I'm trying to think when I got this house that I'm in, and I didn't know nothing about real estate. I didn't know nothing about contractors and what they should be doing and what things should look like, all that good stuff. But this was my learning lesson. And I can tell you, and I always tell anybody when I talk to them about this house in particular, my contractors got me good. When I tell you robbed me, like literally robbed me and walked off with a bag. But that was my biggest lesson. So now that I'm in it, you can't get over on me no more. You got
a paid on the job training, as they say.
Absolutely.
So for some people, you go to college to learn, you invest to get information, and then for some people, you actually do the active work.
Yeah.
And you learn in that process. Sometimes it go good, sometimes it go bad. Look, absolutely. Everybody's journey. I feel like I honestly like to fail early.
Yeah.
Later, because like you said, now coming out the gate, one, it keep me humble. Two, it keep me on my P's and Q's. And I tell people all the time, like my first 2 deals, I really didn't make no money on them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
First started flipping, I got burned by a contractor for 25 bands. You know what I'm saying? So now I know how to pay contractors. I also know how to fire super quick, and I know the telltale signs when this thing about to go left. Like I already see it coming.
Absolutely. And I always tell people, and I learned this in my sorority, documentation beats conversation. I'm contracting everything.
Okay.
I'm not doing nothing without a contract. I'm just not. Like, what do you mean? I don't have a problem going to court, getting the law. I don't have a problem with none of that. Like, I really don't. And if that's it's part of the game, right? And at this point, either you gonna do it or you're not gonna do it.
No, but to your point about the contracting and the lawyers, that sets you up for the bigger deals that you're doing now. So it's like, it's easier if you set everything in place and be patient. Again, fail early, get everything lined up early, right? But at the same token, don't overanalyze everything. Take action.
Right. Absolutely.
You got to be doing all this and taking action, because there's so much information on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Around, and now what do you done been to four events. You done got 3 mentors. You done been to every live I done did, every live Coco done did, and you still ain't take no action.
For real. And that's the sad part about it is I'm like, yo, like, I had to turn this lady down. She just kept booking consultations after consultation after consultation after consultation. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, when are you going to start?
Right.
You keep talking to me.
Give me
like,
something to work with to help.
Right. You know, when are you going to start? And I tell people it's not hard. Like, it's really not hard. When you see these properties and all of that, or you see people who have properties, I'm pretty sure people literally say to me, oh my God, like, I can't believe, and they assume that you're just this gazillionaire. I didn't come from anything. Like, absolutely nothing. Even after my parents' drug addiction, like, I still didn't have anything. It was just me literally figuring it out. Like, how am I already know what my neighborhood is doing? I know what my surroundings is doing. Like, what could the outcome be of doing something totally different? And I felt like I had to be the person to do that. And I did. And me going to school, absolutely everything that I know now, I didn't learn in undergrad or in grad school. Like, I don't want to have kids, but if I ever do have kids, I would never force my kids to go to college. Like, I just wouldn't. I have a different mindset now. If they're going for the experience at an HBCU, that's different. Or if you're going because you actually, you know, want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that, something that you need a degree in. But my kids will never go to school for business or anything in the music industry or art or, you know, like even criminal justice. It's just not, it's not given that at all. And once I figured that out, like I feel like I became a better educator. Because my students, you got to think about what we tell kids. We as teachers, we as parents, family members, whatever. Like, you got to be smart to go to college. Well, if the kid don't feel like they're smart, that means they're not going to college. You done already killed that dream.
Right.
You know, like, oh, in college it's going to be this. And that was just, high school was harder than college, if you ask me. And I went 2011, I graduated undergrad 2015. And when I tell you all of my exams, well, 90% of my exams were in the library. Another reason why I don't know how to study.
So we had this conversation with Keith and a couple of the trades, KCS Plumbing and Big Homie, about college versus not going to college, right? So I think collectively we're all in agreement, unless for specialized skill.
Yep.
Let's not just push college. However, my take on it is, for Black males, I feel like majority of us need to go to college because one, maturity phase between 18 and 22, give or take. And not for everybody, but I'm just saying for most. But in addition to that, to me, college is that place where you learn the real world,
for sure,
with a cushion kind of thing. So, like you said, when you came out the gate, me and you both, we got burnt in the real world. We thinking people was gonna sign, do what they was supposed to do, right? And we didn't realize, like, yo, they human, like they got balls just like the rest of us, right? But I think
Keith, you out of pocket, Keith.
Oh, he in there joking, right? Always, man.
He know who got me.
Okay. Hey, they gonna get their karma, so it ain't about nothing,
Listen.
But in addition, but I was saying that going to college, right? So most of us don't realize how the world works. Like whether you're dealing with a predominantly white college, predominantly Black college, but again, just how to maneuver and have that cushion to just build those skills. And my take on it is, I went to school for education as well. I didn't realize the classroom stuff was actually preparing me how to run my business.
Yeah.
How to do presentations,
Yeah.
how to present and stuff. So I don't necessarily need to go in debt $100,000 for it.
Not at all.
Strategically set it up. I say, especially knowing what you just said, what we know now, it's on us to put our children in position so that they don't come out of school in debt. I feel like the biggest problem or the myth that we had was, hey, kids, go to college because you go better than your parents, your grandparents. But, oh, by the way, go and figure it out on your own. No.
For sure. But the other piece, and I like that you said that, right? Because that's what some of my students would say. Like, I don't want to go. I'm going to go to CCP. I'm going to stay here and go to CCP. And then I'll transfer to this school or that school or blah, blah, blah. Because I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. Listen, my hand to God, I always tell you, you're already poor. The best kind of debt to have is student loan debt. And that is literally going to be your longest stay. That starts your credit. That starts a lot of the kids' credit. So for me, it's like, actually, I needed that debt.
Right.
Because it started my line of credit. For real,
right. So in addition to that, because most of us are starting with what? We're behind. Like, it's just
already behind.
It's just our community, our culture. Not everybody, but most of us were starting behind. Exactly. So the fact that if you get the opportunity, I'm saying, to go to college, and like you said, I ain't gonna lie, I'm jealous of all my homies that went to an HBCU knowing what I know now. I wish I would have got that experience. Keith, you got a good point about getting a mentor. So again, it's different ways to do it. But again, I'm saying, college gives you that affordability to literally room and board, network. In addition to, you talking about getting a mentor, you can get several mentors all in college. And that comes at a cost. So whether you pay for a mentor through Instagram, now you're paying for a professional that's coming from an honorable institution that name might actually put you in a room with these people. And to that point, those same people that I network with in college, they're now my private money investors. Exactly. And I wouldn't have got that from a mentor from Lansdowne Avenue or Church Lane. I just wasn't getting that. For sure. And I definitely do believe that, it's always in who you know, right? Networking is key, right? Like, I literally only had one interview in my whole entire life. Just one. And it's because of my network. Literally. So it's and there's privilege in that. There's privilege in people like I'm also part of a very well-known sorority. And so it's not that I just didn't go to law school because I didn't want to. It was because I'm like, man, I don't want to. And it wasn't about, I can't afford it or whatever. They were all full rides. Right. It wasn't about an LSAT score. It wasn't about none of that. Like, when I had to go to court, I just call a big sister in a sorority. Like, I need a contract, call a big sister in a sorority. So it's so many different things. And I always tell people that too. Like, in high school, I had 3 mentors, and I never told them anything that was going on with me or my life or what have you or anything. And when I tell you they put money in my account for 4 years straight, I didn't ask them about anything. They didn't ask me. It was just like, here, every month, 3 people was put money in and none of the people who literally was, except for my aunt, none of the people who was there for, I feel like the truth. The people who were there for me the most in life has never been related to me by blood. Never. And one thing that I also realized is literally that I could have met somebody and had a great conversation with them in 30 minutes, and I feel like we like this. Right. Elevation requires separation too. And sometimes we don't understand letting go. And I think that's another thing that hinder a lot of people, because you feel like, I don't want to be, I don't want anybody to say to me like, damn, you forgot about us, or, you think you better, or you this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I just have a different mindset and I'm moving different. Everybody is granted, I'm not going to say everybody is granted the same opportunity, but there's no way that you should be in my friend group and you ain't doing something that I'm doing. Or you don't have a stake in something that I am doing. Or you don't have no goals and ambitions, because we all could do different things. But for sure. But at least my motivation or ambition should rub off for you to do your ambition and have your. All of my friends got cribs and stocks.
This is not a, you know, like I just feel like, what type of person would I be to not, you know, like, what you mean? Now it'll look crazy if I was the only person. That looks crazy. So I feel like there's so many of us all over the place, right? Doing a whole lot of great things. And there's so many people who don't have the opportunity or wasn't given the opportunity to do what it is that we're doing. So we're supposed to be the resource. So I feel like I'm the resource for the hood. I'm the resource for my kids. You know, like my real estate deals, stock and all of that. I teach my kids everything that I know. I was doing my real estate deals on Wednesdays and all that in the classroom. Like, no, we're going to figure this out. Everybody, they would be pissed if any of them on this live when I made them do business plans and all that. They're like, I don't even want to write down my own business. It's not about that. It's not about you wanting your own business. It's the know-how.
Right. Because
like, how you about to go out into the world? And I'm not saying that you can't have a 9-to-5. I'm not down to 9-to-5s at all. But you still need a skill. You still need a skill. And if jobs literally feel like, if they feel like, you know, you need them more than they need you, they're going to treat you like trash. I'm no longer putting up with something I don't want to put up with. And because I don't have to.
Talk it.
I don't have to. You know, so it's not like, oh, so-and-so is getting on my nerves and I'm about to, no, it's none of that. Like, the problems that I have are on a different level because now I'm the boss. You know? Like, it's just different. But at the same time, like, it does come with a price tag, right? So there were plenty of times where I had some of my friends who was out partying, turning up, doing whatever, and I want to do those things too, right? But I'm just like, damn, like, I can't. My mind won't let. I gotta do this application. I gotta figure this out. I gotta whatever it is, figure out how I'm about to get 30 grand for this house that I just told them I was going to buy. Like, I don't know where this money coming from. Like, what? But I can't let the deal leave me. So I'm the person where I literally feel like I'm not having a good time if something ain't done.
Right. Well, that's called prioritizing.
For sure.
So that's
but,
called.
Because in my mind though, I'm gonna be broke. Like when I tell you that's the biggest thing in my head these days. Like, you know, everything that I spend money on, there has to be a return. Like, I have to be able to reap something from what it is that I'm spending. And I feel like if you're not thinking like that, you better do something ASAP. You better figure it out ASAP. Like, playing with credit cards, you got to really know how to play with credit cards, right? And when I'm talking about you got to really know how to play with credit cards, it's 2 different dates. And I'm sure you know about the 2 different dates. The date that is due.
You see, I wasn't sure how you wanted to approach that conversation. Because the grand crazy right now with get a credit card and run it up. Cash out the credit card, 0% interest. Like, yo, them 12 months are going to go so quick that 0% to 24% interest.
Listen,
before you blink.
I have a schedule on the back of my phone for my life. And then literally at the bottom, it says literally the due date and when it reports to the credit union. Every bill that I have.
You can put it in the calendar, Coco. You don't got to do it.
No, but I have it in my calendar. It's in my calendar, but you know how you just swipe it up. You just scroll up. It ain't nothing for me to flip this over. Listen,
Coco said, I want to make sure everything getting paid on time.
Literally, it's only but so many reminders that this phone could give me other than, you know, and if I don't have this, then I legit like, damn, I don't really know what I got going on this week.
Right.
For real.
So, and the crazy thing, like I said, like you just said, the crazy thing is, like, so I got my go-to sitting in the tuck ready right here.
Yeah.
You know, it's mortgage time, beginning of the month. Mortgage and rents. You know, but now that I know, like you said, playing with credit, I'm paying my mortgages with my credit card, get the cash back rewards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to rack them up so I can get on your level with the travel game. My son been cursing me out, talking about some, you and mommy, or you always going somewhere. You ain't been on no plane. Like, dog, like, you 6. I ain't get on no plane until I went to college.
He said what he said.
Look, because again, his exposure.
Right.
If my daddy and my mommy get on planes, I
can get on the plane.
You know, so, and the messed up thing, like you said, he only 6. Like, that's the bad thing, you know. And then even to the point, my youngest son, he 3. Mm-hmm. He goes with other people, and when it's time to pay for something, He'd be like, yo, let me get the bill. And they'd be like, how you gonna pay for it? My daddy credit card.
Period.
I'd be like, yo, how you? I'm not even there though.
Right.
But
Run
he
them
just so
numbers.
used to somebody something like, yo, my daddy gonna pay for it. Get my credit card. Like, yo, like, what are you talking about, kid? Like, you just violent. But he already know. No, we ain't swiping no debit cards around here.
There's no return on cash or debit. When I see people, first of all, I just think it's ridiculous. And if this is you, please do better with the money to the ears, all of that. Like, I mean, I guess I gotta hold my American Express to the ear. I don't know to get down. I don't know, but I swear I just be looking like this is insane. Like,
but again, you gotta know better to do better. So that's why I say and again, it wasn't our parents' fault or the people in front of us, right? Mm-hmm. So I grew up, don't use credit cards, it's only for emergency.
Yeah.
It's only for emergency.
Yeah.
And again, if you use it, all right, just pay the minimum balance.
Exactly.
But now, what's the game? You pay that thing in full because of Amex cards, they keep giving you more money.
ASAP.
But again, like I said, if you don't know, but how else can you find out these things if you don't go out of your surrounding community and neighborhood? And I get it. Like, some people are fortunate. It's that old man on the block that don't nobody know that I'm block that she be helping people and you just don't. But everybody not fortunate to do that. So that's why I always like, I'm an advocate of, all right, go to a trade school or go to a college. But I'm saying more so go to a college because there's so many people from all over the world.
It is. That too. But I feel like, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. But at the same time, we are at an advantage. And when I say we are at an advantage, because it takes nothing for specifically a guy to slide into a girl DMs to try to talk to them. So why aren't you trying to slide in somebody's DMs to figure out how to flip your money or how to be a better person? Like, I don't understand that. If you have the confidence to jump in somebody's DMs and say whatever you say, like the thing that I hate, even walking on the street, I pay bills. I do too. What does that mean? I mean, everybody pays bills. Like,
I was at KOP last week, and a young lady had started spark conversation because she was upset. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Yo, I feel offended." She said a dude walked up to her inside Saks or wherever she was at and pulled out 20 bands and was like, "Whatever you want, get it, girl." And she was like, I feel offended. Like, I can get this on my own. And why? And secondly, why are you carrying 20 bands around in the mall? What are you doing in the mall with 20 bands?
It's because men have low self-esteem.
Yo.
That's it. So it's like, you're not going to put on makeup, right? So you got to do something that's going to look like, appealing, that's going to jump out to somebody. So, if you come in a store and you pull out 20 bands, people are going to look. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They're going to look. If you walk into the store and you got your diamonds dancing, whether they cubic or not, you're going to get somebody's attention. And so that's what that's about,
So, but I'm not going to say all males got low self-esteem.
People in general do. But when it comes to men and women,
I like people.
Y'all right here, top tier.
Let's do it.
Number one, because there's so many things that women could do to change their appearance, right?
Right.
Not that much a man can do. Like maybe, I don't know, some people spending 20 bands on a headline. So, it's not that much you could do. Like, men, people, they get abs, it's not that much.
I get it. So it's like you said, the jewelry, the clothes. But to your point though, it is some dudes running around with the Beijing dye jobs. They doing too much, and now they got the sew on wig and beards.
The lace front, all that.
Yeah, so like the game is crazy right now.
Yeah.
But at the same token, but it's kind of like, as a male, you're trying to, how else do you show what you bring to the table or entice a young lady to give you interest? And I'm not saying all
How you
females,
speak.
but
How you
no, no,
speak.
no, no. But I'm saying so you speak, right? So I'm just saying from what I hear,
Right.
when you speak, it's the why you speaking to me. Yeah, Kevin Samuels say it all the time. What do he say?
I don't watch him.
There's always resistance to the attitude when a brother walk up to you and speak to you. He just might say, "Yo, how's your day?"
I don't know. That's not me. That's not me. I'll have a conversation with anybody because I don't know who anybody is, just as well as a lot of people don't know who I am. So
Right.
I'm the person I'm going to talk to. I mean, compared to other people, or if you from Philly, I'm Joe. I'm going to talk to anybody. For you, I never know who I'm running into. Literally, I was in Walmart today, and it was this white couple. They were married and older. And they're like, woo, that's so I was buying some stuff for the book bag drive. And they're like, woo, that's a lot of stuff. Oh my God. Like, whoa. So it was like, oh, well, are you a teacher or something? And a lot of people don't even know if they should, like, if I'm a teacher because I look so young. So like, are you a teacher or something? Or I'm like, oh yeah, well, not anymore. But I'm doing a school drive, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he says, how do you become an influencer on Instagram? And I was like, what? So I started telling him, he was like, you know what, I'm a little old. He was a dentist. And this man created the toothpaste with peroxide, baking soda, and like olive oil or something like that. You never know who you're talking to. So
Right.
then he started telling me all of this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, you should do this and maybe this and maybe that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I said something about the stock market. He was like, what? One, because you're young and you're black. Like, what do you mean? What? Right. And I was like, yeah, I trade options. And he was like, wait.
You do
You
what?
do what? And that took the conversation somewhere else. So he was like, wow, you should write it. I used to work for George Soros. Look him up right now. Look him up. Look at his network and look at this and that. And I used to work on Wall Street and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, wow, like that's really, really good. And he was like, yeah, so you should do this. And then he was like, wait, so what do you do on the stock market? And then I started showing him my portfolio. And he was like, oh, this is really you? And I was like, oh, then I showed him the article about me buying a block. He was like, oh my God. No, because this is what he said to me when I first said, yeah, I trade options. He was like, oh, well then, like write a letter to Goldman Sachs and tell him this and that. And he started telling me all the stuff I need to put in the letter. So I was like, all right, I'm taking notes. And
you about to get that unlimited line of credit from Goldman?
Literally. So I started taking notes. I'm doing all this.
I've been hearing about that, and you need a referral to get in. So.
Listen, so he said, so I'm like, okay. He was like, yeah. And you could definitely see if they will, if they will bring you on, they'll pay for this and pay for that. You can make $1 billion. Like it's a 6-figure job, this and that. And I was like, amazing. Like, that's nice. I was like, yeah, then I can put it into my properties. He was like, what? And I showed him, he was like, because then he said to me, and then you won't even have to be in Walmart shopping for yourself. And I said, oh, that's what I said. Let me show you this. And he was like, oh my God, make sure you put that in the letter too. But wait, I feel like I need to be learning from you because how do you own this?
Right.
Like, he was like, is that real? And I was like, yeah, like, you could look up whatever you want to look up, but yeah, like this is a real thing. And they just couldn't believe it. So when I say all that to say is, I was at a bar one day on South Street. I didn't want to go in the house. I was like, let me just go down here, grab something to eat. And I met this man who he traded options for 30 years. Now he don't trade options anymore. He have all, what is that called? Commercial properties here and in Boston. And he was like, I'll be a mentor. And so this was when it was during the pandemic. He was like, and I want to take you to the floor. Literally the stock market right over there 30th Street. So I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I have 8 guys who trade for me and like, yeah, he employed the traders. So right. I'm not that person. Like, I'm going to talk to any and everybody because you never know who you're running into.
Right.
And when people run into me, it's really scary. When I tell you, I'd be scared. Like, what? Oh my God. For real. I thought I was going to be late for the live because I was talking to them. I'm like, you know so much. You telling me all of this, right. And now he's just so intrigued. So I'm like, yeah, I really got to write that letter. Like, I really have to follow up. So I don't care. Like, I am going to be in every room that I belong in.
So can we agree that networking,
for sure,
being willing to open your mouth, being willing to speak up, and then being willing to listen as well.
Yeah, but you got to be nice. You got to be nice and welcoming, regardless if I'm having a good day or not, right? Like, even if my face is balled up, I'm like, you know, this is how I approach my problems these days with therapy and literally like just changing your mindset, right? So if something don't go my way, regardless of if it's in an argument with a friend or just whatever it is, I ask myself, like, before I would just really be pissed. Literally, I ask myself, what's the takeaway? Like, what lesson are you supposed to learn in this moment? So I can't just be out here with my face all balled up and looking like I wouldn't even want to talk to her. Like, how you show up, like, your first impression is everything.
Right.
To whoever it is, people that you don't even speak to. Like, if I was, ever see any of my followers or something like that on Instagram, I'm going to speak. Oh, hey, I might not go out my way, but I'm definitely going, oh, hey, how you doing?
Right.
I just feel like
you're going to be respectful, give them a nod, say hello.
Sure. Because what's wrong with that? What's the harm in smiling or nodding or saying hi?
But that's why I said, when you in the environment and you don't get out the environment, it hardens you. So it's not like it's your fault, but it's not your fault.
For sure.
So that's why, again, I'm saying, exposure changes things. So for some people, you'll be fortunate enough. And the messed up thing is, the way the game is, it's easier for you to take on debt to go to college to get these experience than it is for you to go to the bank and get money and travel the world or start a business. So again, like Coco said, if you got to build your credit and figure it out anyway, you might as well take advantage of what they going to let you take advantage of.
Yeah.
We're not telling you to go to debt. The problem is people go to get this debt, and what they do, they don't finish.
No.
And then on top of that, they balling out with all these the refund checks. They don't got nothing to show. Imagine if you took every other refund check and saved it to the last 4 years. That's the down payment for college. I mean, down payment for your house.
For sure.
You gotta come back home and figure out where you're gonna live. You got a down payment for a house.
One of my friends got $10,000. I didn't even know about refund checks when I first went to school. And I went with 8 scholarships. And Clark gave me the least amount of money, right? And people was like, oh my God, you're going to go to that school. It's $34,000 a year, this and third. When people start talking about how much Spelman costs in it, it's not your money. It's not yours. You're never even going to pay that back. I'm not. You're never going to pay that back anyway.
Right. So it's
what it is.
That's the one thing I ain't
I'm never pressed about, but these credit cards,
we gonna run them.
Oh, they gonna be, like, that's just what it is. So, I mean, even in that too, like, just making sure that and the very first thing that I want to say, and I want everybody to understand and know this, especially all of the parents on here, all of the men or what have you, like, we have to normalize, having empathy and emotion, right? Like, half the reason that people are dying these days, like, I lost 12 kids since September, all to gun violence. Like, another part of the reason why I'm out, like, I just can't, like, I can't go from seeing you every day or we talking on a gram and then you on No Gun Zone or on our school page, rest in peace. Like, that's not okay for me. But these kids and people in general are dying over respect. It's not about money. It's not about nothing else. It's literally about respect. And the guys, the ego, the all of this, the all of that. And it starts from being a child. Literally being a kid where they're like, ha, 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 oh, man, he's so bad. Bad is not good. But to some people, a lot of people that look like us, like, that's okay. It's cool to be bad.
Being the tough guy is it's an award.
Right? And I'm not saying this about you, your son, but these little boys or whatever fall, they start crying or something happened, their feelings is hurt and they cry. And guess what? The very first thing somebody say to them is, man up. You acting like a girl. And now they grown, and not even grown, because you got 11-year-olds that shooters. 11.
Right.
How? And then I see the guys, the older guys who posting these kids, this was my young boy, not this and third, da, da, da. But to an extent, like, you thought that was cool. Like you made it okay for this young boy to do whatever it is that he was doing. It's not enough people. Like, why are you sad now? Why are you sad? I don't understand that. I feel like the only people who should be sad is the people who are literally trying to help them, not the ones who was like, yeah, that's my young boy, get that bread, do this and do that. Yeah, he just bought this and like, no,
So
no,
so in addition to that, that is why. So like Keith, Lorenzo, a couple of the other guys,
yeah,
like, so been trying to be like what's the word? Intentional. We've been trying to be intentional on having a presence with the summer programs.
yeah.
Keith just did it. They literally, all the young boys say, yo, Keith was the best thing that, like, out of all the people they had speak
That's
all summer. Keith and Bada Hood. Like,
that's
we done had these kids for 6 weeks and they still talking about Keith.
right.
Like, yo, if more young people could have different examples versus having the big homie on the block or the boy that's popping on the gram, but he don't, for he 40, but his mentality is 12. Like, he never developed. So it's like, if we can come together more as a community, as, you know, or even just as, like, we got to start clicking up. Like,
For sure.
let's get together and just, yo, let's go talk to these young boys, or let's just show them, like, it's other ways to make money. You literally showed it. You made 90 bands in 6 months. These young boys won't see 90 bands in 2-3 years hustling on the block.
They won't ever see 90 bands because they're not even making it to live. Like they not even seeing 15.
But so that's
20.
that's why I'm saying, yo, we gotta keep promoting it, but then also just trying to figure out a way to talk to these young boys and show them, like, you don't gotta wait till you 21 to start that business. You don't gotta wait till,
At all.
you know, get your parents, like, you get your parents' permission, but at the same token, you got a phone. Most of this stuff you can do from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And for real, if you got the heart, like, crazy thing, you said you got fear of being broke. If you got the fear of not being respected, how about you take that same fear and use that in another direction?
Right. Because I'm gonna tell you this, I got too much to lose. So I'm not arguing with nobody. Since whoever you won, for real. Like, I'm not. One, because I just don't have time to go to the police station. No, I got flights to catch. You know, like, I'm licensed. Like, I'm not doing none of. I'm sorry, I'm not arguing with nobody. That's cool, nice. Excuse me, got a blast. It's not worth it, right? It's just not. My wildest dream, and I always tell my students and people this on live, my wildest dream as a child was to go to Disney World. And that was because I could not see outside my current living situation. I couldn't see outside of my neighborhood, right? Like, I just couldn't fathom going outside of 32nd and Diamond. So the only thing that I could ever do was like, damn,
Disney World was
Disney World. Why? Because I've watched That's So Raven. I watched
Lions, Tigers.
literally, right? And so when I was in college, I'm like, damn, I couldn't sleep 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. If I was looking up either like criminal documentaries or like traveling cannot just be this expensive. And a lot of people now be like, oh my God, Coco, like that trip gotta be expensive. Like, no, it's not. Like, my most expensive flight ever was to Senegal, and that was $776, and that was only during the pandemic. Like, I've never seen a flight to Senegal less than $900. I ain't never seen it.
You got a class on how to travel? You do that yet?
I don't have a class on how to travel. However,
But
listen.
we might have a Zoom.
We're going to have a Zoom. At this point, I really just need to be an agent. Like, I need to be booking these people flights. No, for real. Like, in their excursions, like, me walking with the Lions was like 100 and literally no more than 115.
Sneaker
To
money.
walk with Lions. $115, like, come on. You spend that.
Sneaker money.
Literally.
Nike sweatpant money.
That's it. So it's just
so-
like, come on.
So I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna need you. We gotta so my young boy can get off my head.
Yeah.
We gotta trip. I do want to do Disney for Christmas, so that's my goal. So when you talk about my adult dream is, because I've never been to Disney, but my adult dream, take my kids to Disney for Christmas or for New Year's. So
Yes.
I'm gonna need to book that consultation so we can put that play together.
Let's get it going. Like, I'm telling you, it's not a game. Even pre-pandemic, right? Like, I started traveling in 2013 while I was in undergrad. And I got my passport. My mom was upset. why did you get, I'm like, what do you mean, why? Like, I'm
But
out of here.
But she wasn't mad. She more so, that was her fear of that. One, she didn't have control. And two, she didn't know you could do that.
Okay.
So she said it out of love, but it was more so out of fear because she wants you to be okay.
Amazing.
I'm only saying that now, like when I know when I say certain things now, I'm more so saying it to my kids out of fear versus
for sure
being a problem. And the crazy thing is, I feel like a lot of parent-child dynamics, even as children, the parents gonna always have that fear.
For sure.
They gonna always have it. So it's like, even now I gotta tell people like, yo, my mom had a fear of me like being in real estate full time. And it was like, now she like, whatever, just go do what you do. Like,
go do it.
I mean, like, whatever, you'll get it by tomorrow. I'm like,
yeah.
So right. So, but so it takes time for them to, for them to be more accepted, or even just let you develop and do what you do, you know?
Yeah, I had a different experience, like I was always able to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. For real. Like, even so my mom got on drugs when I was 10. Right. And so like it is so crazy because I think about just my experience growing up, and I always, I told my mom, like, the greatest thing that ever happened to me was your drug addiction, because I wouldn't be who I am. I just wouldn't be who I am today had you not done that, right? Like, had I not experienced, like, I was in the 5th grade at 10 and my mom overdosed. She's still alive, thank God. And guess what happened? I had to go to school. Right. So when we think about some of the things that kids experience and what they see and what they go through, right? And how I was taught that, and a lot of people I feel like was taught this: what happens in my house stays in my house. So you're not going to school talking to no counselor, no therapist, no none of that. And back then they was all white. And that wasn't too long ago, And so, like, certain things really do a lot of things to you, and I'm just like, damn, like, I could never do that. Like, I couldn't imagine not, and stuff like that. Those experiences make you hard, right? Like, and make you a really, really tough person, or they completely destroy you, right? It's only one or two ways you're going to go. Either you're going to be the total opposite, or you're going to do the same thing.
Right. So also, one, I'm saying, so blessings that your mom is still here. And then two, I'm saying salute to you. Yeah. Because the crazy thing is, you didn't internalize that and think to yourself that you were less than. Yeah. But first, so you use that as an example, like you said, of what not to do, as well as to motivate you to
turn your pain into purpose. Turn your pain into purpose. There's no way. Like, I just feel like at the end of the day, dog, nobody cares. Life goes on. What you want to do, right? So you this person, and you want to become whoever it is that you want to become. I also I'm a quote person, came across this quote, like, nobody remembers average people. And I just can't afford to just be a regular person. Like, one, I'm Black, right? I'm young, and I just felt like the retirement age is 65. That's insane. That is in 65. So you mean to tell me I got to work for 65 years? And if I have, a job with benefits, so I got a 401k, 403b, some type of pension plan, some type of retirement plan. But even when I stop working and I'm able to retire at 65, that money that was invested is still not enough money for me to live my life. So why do you think you see older people in a grocery store or working in retail or whatever it is? Because the money that was quote unquote in their 401k is not enough. And so for a lot of people be like, I'm scared to invest in the stock market. Miss, you done worked in education for literally 50 years. And right. These people done played with your money for 50 years. You should be a billionaire. But these hedge fund owners, the same thing, that the same risk that I take on that stock market every day, they doing that with your money.
Right. And then, but the crazy thing on top of that is, if you're lucky, you make it to 65 in good health to even enjoy that window. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that's another thing too. And even when you think about, because I'm like, damn, why everybody with 401ks and 403bs, or specifically a lot of educators retire broke? How you got no money? How? And the sad part about it is because you are an educator, right? Like you're an educator, and it's like we should be educated on things that's ours.
Right.
These days, I don't mind reading the fine print. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go because I need to know. Like
Right.
I'm signing different documents these days, so
Right.
I need to be reading those. The fine print and all of that. Like I don't. It's different, but we also give our time to what we want to give our time to. So it's not necessarily about, oh, well, I don't have time, or, oh, well, I didn't go to college, so I don't know these words. You got this phone in your hand every day, all day. You got people notifications on. There's no excuse.
Right.
To me, I feel like if I'm asking somebody for something, or if somebody tell me, like, I'm like, damn, what happened? I know you're supposed to do this. I know you're supposed to do that. And they're like, oh, well, in my mind, it's an excuse. Here come an excuse. Like, damn, what happened? Because there's so many different ways that you can make whatever it is that you want work. And then I hate the people who, I don't necessarily hate anybody, but I dislike when people say, oh, well, it wasn't meant, it wasn't my time because God or the devil, it ain't got nothing to do with none of them, baby. Like, you just didn't put the work in.
You didn't execute. You didn't execute.
Right. Like, when you see the quote, or there's somebody here to say the saying, faith without work is dead. Yeah, that means you. Like, you have to do something. You keep praying and praying and praying and praying. Baby, that's just a conversation you keep having with God about the same thing. Ain't that like...
Right. You ain't woke up no different doing no different.
Right. They just dropped all of the money in your lap. You ain't go to jail. And I don't know. I don't know what now.
So the crazy thing you just said that just made me remember my old head's favorite quote. He said, I'll be damned if I don't take these risks because I can't go to jail for none of this stuff. Okay. He said, a scenario, I'll lose the money or my credit score go down. He said, fool not to do this. I'll be a fool not to.
Right. Right. So even if for the people like, oh, well, I want to buy a property. I got the money to buy it, but I don't necessarily got to fix it up. Sit on it. Who's rushing you to do anything with the property? Who is rushing you? Who? Instagram? Like, who's rushing you? People call me all the time, or my mom or whoever, like, oh, yeah, what's up with Baltimore? Nothing. It's chilling.
It's still there.
What do you mean what's up with it? I don't know. Nothing moves. Like, it's still there.
Right. So Coco, for us, before we get out of here,
yep,
got your back to school drive August 21st.
Yep.
You got any other Zooms or any other events coming up anytime soon?
So everything has to be scheduled, right? And so it's not necessarily anything that's just coming up. I actually should do a Zoom, but yeah, the way my calendar is set up.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's just for real. It's like everything that I have offered is on my website. Consultations, whatever it is that you need is all there. But I don't have anything that's like a set date, like a stock class. That's literally if somebody want it live, then they'll schedule it with me. Otherwise, you could go ahead and get the pre-recorded version. So that's whenever you want to. That's the same for all of the real estate classes. And pretty much everything that I do, even if you want to do a one-on-one in Baltimore, like all of those things are there. If you're interested in Detroit, that is where I'm literally like focusing, honing in now pretty much on Detroit. So I got Baltimore is coming together. One last thing I wanted to say is stop. And I'm going to make a post about this. It is a myth that you need 2 years, that your LLC has to be at least 2 years old to get business credit. Stop believing it. That is not the truth. It's preferred, but it is not the truth because within a year, I got 500,000. And we can talk about that. And I literally meant to post it, and I just didn't. And the only reason why I didn't, well, I can post it.
This was a new LLC? Or
this is none of my LLCs are 2 years old. None of them.
No. So I'm saying not 2 years, but I'm saying just it wasn't opened yesterday.
It wasn't. No, the one where I got the 500 for, it was opened. I got that in They gave it. I was a year in when I got that. When I got the 500,000. But this is the thing, though. This is the thing. So one of the properties that I have, because all of my properties are in different LLCs. So one of the properties, the initial property that I wanted to start with this lender, and I'm actually about to start with this lender with a different house, but I was going to start this one house with them. And they was like, oh, well, you know, the title came back, whatever, deed, all that, but it's a different name. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's my other LLC. So it was like, okay, cool. So we can just give you the funding to that LLC. Now, that LLC, I had just bought that house. And that's a brand new LLC, like 3 months.
Wait. So you talking about house funding or credit funding?
So it's a line of credit for my LLC to do whatever it is that I want to do to rehab.
Yes.
Yes.
So that funding, I know what you're talking about.
For sure. But I also, wait, because I also got funding from Navy Federal. I also got this American Express card. This LLC ain't 2 years old.
Right. I got you.
So don't believe that. You just need to know what to do.
So I'm not saying don't believe it, right? But we also, you know how it is. People gonna take what you say and say, yo, give me an LLC tomorrow.
Listen, and they can go ahead.
Please.
And they can go ahead and say, Coco said, and they can go to whoever it is that they want to go to, right? And they don't have to come to Coco to figure that out.
Right.
But, you know, if you want to get your LLC and you want to get this funding and all that, yeah, come holler at me. But I ain't wait. None of my LLCs are 2 years old. So let's did that. We got the American Express, though. And I got all these other offers right here of American Express for my other LLCs. They know what time it is and what's going on.
And the Chase and the Bank of America.
No, I don't got Bank of America or Chase.
You ain't do them?
I don't got them. No, I got about 35 credit cards too, but I don't. Chase has the what is that? What's the rule that they have? 524.
More than 3 inquiries or something in a year or something like that.
No, that's fine because I get all my inquiries removed anyway. But yeah. I'm saying the 524, you can't have more than 5 new accounts in 24 months.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's Chase. I'm never going with them. You know how many accounts I open on a regular 5 new accounts?
But it's not that they won't approve you. They won't approve you. But
they'll close my account though.
Chase give up the bag. No. Once they give it to you, they give it to you. It's when they trying to approve you. So mind you, just say if you'd have went to them first before you did everybody else, they might have gave you a big bag in the beginning. But say you go to them now, say they give you half.
Right.
So Chase. But so I'm saying Chase is good to have though.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna look into that some more because I was definitely under the impression that you cannot have even after you get them and you open up them 5 more than 5, and they like.
Early on, then I went and did all of these jobs.
Oh, so, say that then.
I got 2 LLCs with Chase.
Oh, amazing! That's what's up. All right, so I guess I'll go to Chase tomorrow.
Nah, get 2 devices.
Yep. Well, I know about that. I got the offers too. But all of the LLCs, they keep when I tell you. Every bank that I bank with just keeps sending me all lists for every LLC that I have.
That's because their credit score is killing them. That's why.
But my history is good. I pay my bills.
Their credit score is, I'm saying.
What we do. But the other thing is too, I don't want people to believe that you gotta have an 800 or 680 and this. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a 680. I'm not saying that. But there were times when because I'm an investor. My credit score was not always above a 680. When I got this house in 2017, I had like a 5-something.
So again, you are right.
So this is the thing, right? When people are saying a lot of these things, they are generalizing.
Right.
Everybody's situation is very different. And it's all about what it is. You just gotta know, right? We know a lot of people know how to finesse, lie, whatever you want to call it, however it go. Look, man, listen.
So as a first-time home buyer, yes, you could buy a house with a 580 credit score.
You can buy a house with a 520. Your interest rate is going to be higher.
Right.
You have to bring more money to the table, but you can do it.
Right.
They
So,
out here spending $20,000 on teeth.
so to your point is, let's not make no excuses about what we can't do and let's figure it out.
That's my thing. Figure it out. Stop saying, oh, I saw one agreement you needed 700 score to get. Shut up. But you got that car though. You
Right.
got a Benz.
I was gonna say they got the 520 with my fit. You know, they got the Charger Hellcat.
Yeah, they got all, like, come on.
With the 6% interest rate. Yeah, I mean, with the 75, what's the joint? Show me your paycheck and you can pay $75 a week. You know what I'm saying?
However it go, cause my car no $295 and I don't want it. I got a Nissan. I just feel like there's no return on that.
Right.
I invest in Nissan on stock, but now I need to, like, cause I'm already buying it. I'm buying it, so that money gotta come back to me.
So, but we will. But to our point though, what we was earlier, we were saying, yo, at least. No, you can have it. You can have your way. You either going to struggle a little bit with the bump, or you can have it your way, preferably with the 660, 680 credit score, and then, get your LLC, let it season a little bit, not 2 years, but let it season, and build a relationship. That's what it's all about. You build a relationship with the banks, and then, like you said, with the portfolio lenders, you know what I'm saying, give you the line of credit based off your experience, not based off your credit and assets. And you can play ball out here in these streets.
For sure. She said people seem to judge you by your car. They can go, listen, I would much rather have a 2000 Buick Regal because that's what I drove for forever. That was the longest car I ever had. And I don't give a damn about them judging me. I don't care. If I cared about what people think, I wouldn't be where I am. Because nobody was doing what I was doing. Nobody.
Right.
From elementary to middle school to high school, anybody that I went to school with that can definitely vouch and say that. Yeah, she right.
Your tribe
I was the principal's pet or whatever it is. Anybody want to seriously, like, what? Please.
Nah, your tribe is your tribe, and the tribe that's attracted to you will come to you
for sure
in due time. That's one thing I had to learn as I got older. Like, everybody ain't gonna be for you, and that's cool. You got to be cool with sometimes being by yourself for a while before you get them hitters and them marauders on your team.
Absolutely. But this was fun. It's always a good time. Make sure you send me this time because I'm still waiting from the last one. But
So you're right. You're right. You ground me up about it. You're right. But I can't actually send it to you. And the other one though, it's on my YouTube page.
Okay, I gotta check that out.
I'm gonna tell my VA. I'm gonna get both of them to you. You'll have them on Monday at the latest.
Oh, look at God. Put that on the back of my phone now.
Now, definitely appreciate you always rooting for you. I'm saying we still ain't meet in person, but you my IG little sis.
That's crazy, right?
Right. Out here killing them, but it's
we were supposed to, but I don't know what happened.
The pandemic.
No, y'all had the event in Delaware.
Don't blame me. Blame management. We gonna work on it. We gonna work on it. Okay. I'm gonna blame management. It's management.
Put that on them then.
Look, it's management. I'm just part of the crew.
Okay.
But we gonna work it out though. We gonna work it out. What you gonna be here in October? I got check for the whole month. You gonna be here for the month of October?
I don't know. You gonna have to let me know. It's too soon to say yes or no. For real. I can't say
But so for those who don't know, October 30th, we are doing the follow-up to the investment blueprint that we just did. So we're getting all our speakers together. This one, when I tell you, it's going to be crazier than the first one because, we learned from the first one.
Yeah.
But we got a couple hitters already that's on the panel. So again, we're going to be giving y'all the credit plays, the real estate investing. The last one we did stocks. I'm not sure if we're doing stocks again this time. But just know that, again, if you don't have this exposure or these type of people in your contacts, these rooms are the rooms that you have an opportunity to get in. So what do? You pay to get in the room. And the crazy thing, we don't even charge enough for what we should be charging for the speakers. Some of these speakers charge $2,000, $3,000 to do they boot camps.
Yeah.
Couple sneaker money. Sneaker money or Stake 48 money. Give us just one day. I promise you. Matter of fact, one of the students from the class, he just bought his first property that he went to the event that we just had a couple months ago, and he just bought his first property with a hard money lender in the business credit, to your point, through Navy Federal and some other plays that we put together. But just from coming from the event, and he just bought his first property. That's like 3 months.
Right.
But he would show up and didn't take action.
That's it. That's it.
So, you know, so October 30th, look out for those details. It's coming. But don't forget, you got Coco's back to school drop August 21st. You got the O'Hara Development, Jackson Rental Homes, and myself. Ours is August 25th. And I want to say we might be doing one more ride along before the event, October 30th. But I'm excited for the rest of the year. Please be safe, Coco, whatever you do. It's, you know, it's crazy in Philly, but then with the whole COVID stuff, it's just, you can't win-lose situation.
I know.
Yeah. You know, but enjoy yourself and live your life. Live your life.
Same. You do the same. I'm super duper excited, and I just can't wait for all of this to happen. All of it.
Hey, well, you just keep sharing your story and applying that pressure. And now, like I said, whatever you need anything, let me know.
You already. Same.
Thank you. Take it
All
easy.
right. Yep. Good night.
Good night.